Hey folks, it's Drippy here. I just wanted to share my thoughts on this stock MO Altria. Yeah, this is a really good example of what I would be cautious about. Because I am bullish on this, but at the same time I'm bearish, and I'll explain why. So first thing I'm looking here, all these calls were placed around the same time. So does that mean was it from like a same party? It could be. Um, or a group of people, because usually orders are spread out. Like this is unusual, but that could be bullish as well. So we cannot tell just by the time whether it's bullish or bearish. But one thing to look here is that this stock is right now trading at $50, and these strike prices are deep in the money. So you need to think about why would someone buy those deep in the money calls. And in my opinion, one of the things I've seen in this market is hedge funds buying deep in the money calls, which is essentially like buying shares but at a low cost, um, and selling out of the money calls to the retailers. And that means that it is temporarily bearish, just like we saw in Nvidia. We had like 40 million calls deep in the money, and I thought it was bullish, but the price has not shown any progress. So maybe they're doing the same thing here, and I'll go over the chart to tell you why that could be. So keep in mind there is a news here that FDA completes review of over 90% of e-cigarette marketing applications. So they haven't really given the result yet. Um, and look at the volume here. So volume is greater than open interest. So in this case today, volume was greater than open interest for $30 and 35, 40. These are all deep in the money calls. Um, None of them are out of money calls, and that's not something positive in my opinion, because what, you're a retailer, right? So like, are you gonna buy deep in the money calls to trade? What's the advantage? Like, which one is liquid? I mean, these are liquid, but the out of the money calls, there's none. So how, I mean, I don't know, like you can check here. There are some, but like the volume is not that much. Like this one has open interest, but there's no volume. So I don't know. In my opinion, just looking at the flow data, you cannot tell, just because the bullish premium because of the expiry and also the strike price. Let's quickly look through the daily flow level. So from here you cannot tell because it looks bullish, but by this you can tell the expiry is 2022 and this one is upcoming. So overall, this looks really bullish in this case. So we're getting mixed signals here. And then price can be skewed to bullish just because of those calls I mentioned before. And then look at the history here of the stock, right? So what can we, like, when did that happen in the past, right? If we can tell, does that can that have, so what I did was I have here bearish premium, bullish premium, and price. And then look here, this was June 11th. The bullish premium increased and then the bearish premium also increased, and look, the price dropped. So like, it's not a reliable indicator for this stock, and the same thing is happening, price is dropping, and I think personally it's gonna drop a little bit more, and that's not a bad thing. It's a minor pullback because the chart looks bullish on a higher time frame. But yeah, like the size is good, but then again, I like, it seems like these are bought in the money to sell tomorrow, out of the money calls to the retailers, because they will anticipate the news, and maybe they think it's bullish news, and that's why retailers might buy it. But who knows? I don't know. So from the flow data, I am partial on this, and let's look at the chart. So I mean, chart looks really good here because it is a good momentum here. The squeeze is fired. Everything looks good here from a monthly perspective, and it just broke through this long-term downtrend. And if you look at the EMA cloud here, it's right on top, sitting in between these two. That is also very, very bullish. But keep in mind the time frame. Monthly time frame will take more time to pop than weekly, and same thing applies for daily. So now here, daily and weekly just turned positive. RSI is good. This looks good. Volume, like this is kind of like that pattern where there's a big bar and then some kind of like accumulation or distribution. You cannot tell, but in this case this was a red bar, so maybe it is distribution, but who knows, maybe it's consolidating and a green bar will come and retest this level. But what got my attention was, I mean, also look at how the clouds, it's sitting right on top of the cloud on the weekly. So what is concerning for me is the daily chart does not look that great. The RSI is turning negative. It's dropping here. So this is kind of like a divergence, because the tops are same literally, and then these tops are not. So whenever that happens, usually there is a pullback, and in this case it just broke through this green level, right? This short EMA on the daily. And dividends coming, and volume today was more, the selling volume, so that's not a good sign. And also every time the stock has broken the short term EMA, it has dropped. Here, this is the example. This one is another example. This one is not, so maybe a scenario like this is possible, but overall every time it has done that. So let's say that even if this scenario was to happen and there was a bounce, right, I would not touch this stock until it breaks $51. Then I can be, at least I have more faith in the stock. And on the 4-hour, look, momentum is negative, it's in a squeeze, and also it just broke through this consolidation area, so it's trying to retest this. Now tomorrow, if it breaks this level, maybe it's go backs in this consolidation zone, but maybe it comes and retests this level, which won't be that bad, because usually this is what charts do. When you see a gap fill, like here, there was a gap, it filled, it retests this area again where the gap started. The gap ended here. So it charts tend to do that. So now, will it do that? I don't know. I mean, it can just bounce from there, but as I said, I will not long until it breaks this level. And like, it has this kind of like short-term 4-hour daily trend line, so maybe it will retest this level and then bounce. And also look at the 4 hours. I already told you guys, like, it just went below these two EMA. So yeah, short term I think I'm kind of bearish on this one, but yeah, like in next week this might run. So it is a good stock. I think it has a lot of potential to make big moves. So I'm gonna keep this on my watch list, because it's kind of making this cup and handle, and it's probably going to retest this level maybe next week. But in general, I'm kind of mixed feelings about this one, so that's why I will not trade it. But overall, if you want to trade it, you know, I'm not like super bearish on it, so maybe you can, but I personally have better setups which have better risk reward, so I will trade those. And with that said, I will see you guys tomorrow.